Trojan Sports Now.
Hello and welcome to Trojan Sports Now. I'm Amy Austin.
And I'm Clay Yeager. Stick around as we bring you the latest news and scores from Troy Athletics.
The women's basketball team had the opportunity to continue their win streak in a close contest with UT Arlington. In the end, the Trojans fell to the Mavericks 70-67. While Troy was able to force UT Arlington to turn over the ball 31 times, the Trojans were only able to capitalize on that for 17 points. The shooting for the Trojans was off as Troy only shot 27%, while the Mavericks shot 51%. But even with the loss, Troy is still at the number 3 spot in the Sun Belt, and head coach Chandler Rigby said her team was not performing as they normally do.
It's always tough to win on the road. It was a good game. We shot a very low percentage, though. Our shots weren't falling. And we had a couple starters out, which might have thrown things off. We hope to have Courtney Coleman back for this next game, but she was out, and we'd already missed Brianna Lancaster with a knee injury. So we were adjusting those injuries and unfortunately came up short.
The women's basketball team woes continued as the Trojans headed to take on Arkansas State. The first half was the downfall for the Trojans as Troy took a 91-72 loss to the Red Wolves. Headed into halftime, the Red Wolves led the Trojans 49-27, which proved to be too much of a deficit for Troy to recover from. In the second half, though, Troy was able to outscore Arkansas State 45-42. Troy shot only 35% from the field, while Arkansas State shot 50%. Ashley Beverly Kelly was the leading scorer for the Trojans. Beverly Kelly scored 26 points throughout the game. She was followed by Renita Garrett, who had 18, and Lacey Buchanan with 11. The Trojans are now tied for 4th place in the conference rankings with UL Lafayette.
The men's basketball team broke their losing streak in a close matchup over the weekend against UT Arlington 55-54. The Trojans trailed in the final 5 minutes of play as many as 10 points, with the score being 49-41. However, the Trojans came back as they had a 10-0 run to take their first lead in the first half, 51-49. The Mavericks quickly responded with a 52-51 lead with 2 minutes left in the game. Kelton Ford hit a pair of free throws with 3 seconds left in the game to make the final score 55-54. John Walton had his second double-double performance on the season with 18 points. Wesley Person had his 17th career game in double figures, scoring 13 points on the night. Assistant coach Mike Worley says the game will give them confidence for the next game.
It was a confidence booster because in the 4-game skid that we had led all those games. At halftime, we had led by 10, 14, 5. So this was a chance, even though we didn't lead at halftime, we made a push back in the second half. We didn't lead at halftime at UTA, but we're able to overcome them in the second half. So hopefully we can use that as some momentum into these 2 road games.
The Trojans' winning momentum remained strong as they knocked off Arkansas State in a close matchup 69-64 Thursday night. The Trojans came out firing on all cylinders as they took an early 17-6 lead in the first half with 11 minutes and 28 seconds. Near the end of the first half, Arkansas State back up with the Trojans to trail 32-22. However, the Red Wolves comeback was halted by Wesley Person as he had a crucial tray and a back-to-back buckets, while Kevin Thomas helped regain cushion for the Trojans' lead 42-24. In the second half, the Trojans came out sprinting as they scored a quick 20 points and left the Red Wolves in their tracks. 4 Trojans had double figures in the game, with Musa Abdul-Alim leading the Trojans with 17 points. Kevin Thomas had his 12th career double-double performance, scoring 16 points and 11 rebounds. John Walton had his 3rd, scoring 12 points, while Wesley Person scored 11 points in the game. Next up, the Trojans will play over the weekend at Appalachian State.
The men's tennis team picked up the 2nd win in a row and second conference win for the season. Troy defeated Georgia State 4-3. The Trojans were able to win the doubles point due to tiebreakers at number 2 and number 3 doubles spots. Hassan Ndeshime is now 5-1 on the season thanks to his win over Zach Kennedy at the number 2 singles spot. Gabrielle Diaz also took the sweep for the Trojans at the 1 spot for the singles flight. Troy returns to their own courts next Saturday when Southern Miss comes for the first home match of the season. And the men's tennis team is not only celebrating their most recent win against Georgia State, but sophomore Hassan Ndeshime has been awarded the Sun Belt's Male Tennis Athlete of the Week. Ndeshime is a newcomer to the team and had a 5-1 record in singles play and a pair of wins that put Troy 2-0 in the conference play. Ndeshime was able to beat Florida's Gordon Watson, who is the number 13th ranked player in the ITA Southern Circuit.
After starting the season 0-2, the women's tennis team got their first victory over the weekend. The Trojans defeated Alabama State 7-0 on the Hornets' home turf. Troy won their 2nd straight doubles point on the season, while Trang Huynh and Anya Kosovic on the number 1 doubles. Juwan Zhao made her first season debut with the Sine Oda to win the number 2 doubles match. Zhao also made her first singles debut as she won the number 4 singles match, while Julia Albuquerque won the number 6 singles match. Kosvik was next as she won the number 3 singles, while the number 5, 1, and 2 single matches were won by the Trojans. Up next, the Trojans will travel to face UNC Wilmington.
The softball team opened up their 2015 season against the Auburn University on the Tigers' home turf. The Trojans took an early lead against Auburn, but fell to the Tigers 15-5 in 5 innings. In the top half of the first inning, Troy scored 4 runs, but Auburn answered the Trojans' 4 runs with 10 points of their own. Auburn continued to score points in both the bottom of the second and the third. Troy was able to shut down the Tigers, though, in the bottom of the fourth. This is the second year in a row that Troy has opened the season against Auburn.
Still to come on Trojan Sports Now, we'll have a preview of the women's basketball team's next matchup.
But first, I had the chance to sit down with Director of Track and Field Mark Davis. Stick around for more Trojan Sports Now.